Let's be real, we've all been there. You make a deal, you sign on the dotted line. But what happens when the very promise that sealed the deal turns out to be a total lie? Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on a powerful legal tool that could be your way out: actionable misrepresentation. I mean, seriously, think about it. You've committed your time, maybe your money, and then you get that sinking feeling. You realize you've been misled. It feels like you're completely trapped, right? Well, maybe not. The law might just have an escape hatch.
So, to really get how this works, let's step away from all the legal jargon for a second and jump into a scenario that could happen to any of us. Let's say you're shopping online.
Imagine you're buying something you've wanted for ages, like a vintage camera. The seller is super reassuring, and they even put it in writing, right there in the contract. This camera is in perfect condition. You're thrilled. You trust them. The package shows up. You eagerly tear it open, and that gut punch feeling. There's a huge, deep scratch on the lens, something they definitely, conveniently forgot to mention. This is so not perfect condition.
So, what now? You signed the contract. The money's gone. Are you just supposed to eat the cost and live with it? This is the exact kind of mess that contract law has a very specific answer for.
And that answer, that solution, is what we're going to call the legal litmus test. It's a way to figure out if a lie is just, well, a lie, or if it's something much, much bigger, something you can act on.
And here's the key phrase for today: actionable misrepresentation. Look, this is not just any old fib. This is a false statement so important that it actually gives you, the person who was deceived, some serious power. The power to potentially tear up the whole contract or even get paid back for the trouble. Okay, but how do you know if a lie actually rises to that level? Well, it's not about how angry you are. It's about whether it meets some very specific legal criteria. And as you can see, the law is looking for 3 key things.
That's right. For a simple lie to become a genuine, contract-breaking, actionable misrepresentation, it has to pass a very clear 3-part test. So let's dive in and break down each piece of that test one by one.
All right, part 1 of our test. This is all about the nature of the lie itself. Was it just somebody's opinion, or was it a statement of cold, hard, verifiable fact?
And this is absolutely crucial. The law draws a massive, bright red line between something you can prove is true or false and something that's just, a bit of sales hype. This slide lays it out perfectly. On the left, a statement like, "This car has driven 10,000 miles." That's a fact. You can check the odometer. It's either true or it's false. But on the right, saying, "This is the best car you'll ever drive," come on, that's just an opinion. That's sales puffery. For a lie to be legally actionable, it has to be a false statement of fact. Period. Okay, so the lie has to be a fact. Check. But that's not enough. The second part of the test is all about the audience. Who is this lie actually intended for? Now, this might sound totally obvious, but it is a critical point in the eyes of the law. That false statement had to have been communicated to you, the person who was ultimately deceived and then signed the contract.
Now, what's really interesting here is how the law defines addressed to you. It could mean it was said right to your face, or it could have been said to your agent, someone officially repping you. It could even mean it was told to somebody else with the clear intention that they would turn around and tell you. But what does it not mean? Some rumor you happen to overhear. The lie have to be intentional, and you have to be the target.
And now for our third and final test. And you could argue this is the most important one. We've got a false fact, and we know it was aimed at you. But the final critical question is, did it actually matter? Did that lie cause the deal?
This is all about the chain of events, that cause and effect link. The lie can't just be some side comment. It has to be one of the main reasons, a really significant factor that convinced you to say yes and sign the thing. If you would have bought the camera anyway, even if you knew the truth, then the lie didn't really cause anything. The legal world, of course, has a specific word for this: inducement. The lie has to induce the contract. It has to be the hook that reeled you in. Without that inducement, the test fails, and the whole claim falls apart.
So, we've walked through the whole roller coaster, the problem, the solution, and that all-important 3-part test. Now, let's bring it all home and boil it down into a simple, practical tool you can actually use.
And here it is, your simple checklist. When you're looking at a deal and something feels off, just ask yourself these 3 questions. 1. Was it a statement of fact? 2. Was it addressed to me? And 3. Did it induce me to sign? Fact, addressed, induced. That's the whole test right there. And this right here is the bottom line. If you can confidently tick the box and answer yes to all three of those questions, then you might have more than just a bad feeling. You may have a legally actionable misrepresentation on your hands, and that gives you the power to fight back against that signed contract.
So that's the framework. It's a pretty powerful tool for navigating all the promises and potential pitfalls of any deal. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? Now that you know the test, what lies have you been told?